Most of us know the name Anne Frank. We know the icon, but in this explainer, we're going to dig a little deeper. We're going to use her own words to find the person, a funny, sharp, and incredibly observant young woman who, while hidden away from the world, went through a truly incredible transformation.
So, to really get to know Anne, we have to meet her before she went into hiding. Because before she was a symbol, she was just a teenager living her life in Amsterdam, dealing with school, friends, and, of course, boys.
Okay, so let's set the scene. It's June of 1942. The war is raging all across Europe. But if you're a 13-year-old girl, life still finds a way to feel pretty normal. At first, this just sounds so ordinary, right? Ping pong, ice cream. It could be a diary entry from any teenager anywhere. But then you get hit with that last part where Jews are allowed, and it changes everything. In one single cheerful sentence, she shows us her entire reality. All the simple joys of being young, trapped inside a box of growing persecution. And her life was absolutely full of these normal things. I mean, she writes about playing ping pong all the time, having to deal with boys who, quote, fall head over heels, and getting into trouble for being a chatterbox in math class. She had a real, vibrant social life. This was a life being lived, not one that was just waiting for something terrible to happen. And then, just like that life vanishes. It's not a slow fade out. It's a sudden, brutal cut from everything she has ever known. This is the moment everything changes. A call-up notice arrives for her older sister, Margot. The family knows exactly what this means. There's no more time. They have to go into hiding right now. Just think about the weight of that line. Of all the friends, the teachers, all the places in her city that she loved, the only real goodbye she gets to say is to her cat. It's such a small, heartbreaking detail, but it says everything about the massive scale of her loss. Her entire world just gone. So, where did they go? Well, Anne actually gives us a little tour in her diary. Imagine this. You walk into what looks like a totally normal office building. You go up a staircase, walk through the main office, then through a smaller one behind it, and then, completely hidden from view, is the entrance to the secret annex. It was a whole world tucked away, hiding in plain sight. Life inside this hidden world was, well, it was one of extreme claustrophobia, a ton of tension, and this constant, gnawing fear in the background. It was like they were living in two realities at once. Outside, you have the unimaginable horrors of the war, air raids every night, families being ripped apart. But inside, you have these microscopic, super intense pressures of confinement, bickering over rotten potatoes, having zero privacy, and these bizarrely normal things, like the dentist, Mr. Dussel, doing a filling on Mrs. Van Dawn, who screamed the whole time. And this is the powerful metaphor Anne uses to describe it all. They're in this tiny, fragile bubble of safety, a little piece of blue heaven. But all around them, the storm of the war, these heavy black rain clouds, are just gathering, threatening to swallow them whole at any second. But here's the paradox, the real twist of this story. As Anne's physical world shrank down to just a few small rooms, her inner world, her mind, her understanding of herself and everyone around her, it started to expand in the most incredible way. This is not the same girl who was just a chatterbox in school. In the quiet and the forced introspection of the Annex, she develops this fierce self awareness. She's only 14, and yet she feels this profound sense of independence, of moral clarity. She was forced to grow up fast, and she absolutely rose to the challenge.
A perfect example of her growth is her relationship with Peter Van Don. At first, she's kind of dismissive. To the bubbly, outgoing Anne, he and her sister Margot are just too quiet, too boring. They aren't young in the way she gets it. But then, look at this change. Their shared isolation creates this deep bond. He sees past her chatterbox surface to the strength she has underneath. And when he tells her she helps him simply by your cheerfulness, it's like a revelation for Anne. She realizes her own inner spirit has a kind of power she never even knew it had. And this all leads to her final transformation. Trapped in the Annex, Anne discovers her purpose. She finds her voice, and it's not just for herself. It's for something much, much bigger. What comes out is this fierce desire for a life that has meaning. She looks at the traditional roles of the women around her, and she feels this intense ambition to be more, to do more, to make something that lasts. She absolutely refuses to be forgotten. And this is where she finds her path. Writing isn't just a hobby anymore. It is her salvation. It's the way she can make sense of the chaos, hold on to her ideals, and build the meaningful life she's so desperate for. Right here, she fully becomes a writer. But she was never naive, not for a second. She knew exactly what she was up against. This line shows she understood that for every hope and dream she had, the horrible truth of her reality was right there, waiting to crush it. Her hope wasn't born from ignorance. It was a conscious act of defiance against despair. And so, her diary leaves us with this huge, timeless question. It doesn't give us a simple answer. Instead, it gives us the story of a young girl who, trapped by an unimaginable darkness, chose to find the light inside herself through her wit, her insight, and her powerful, unforgettable words. It's a testament to the incredible resilience of the human spirit